Hi there, it's Kerry here today from Kerryscraftycards and Cuts. Wanted to do a quick tutorial on editing images in the Studio Silhouette version 3. So the first thing you need to do is obviously get your image or either your JPEG file or your SVG file or whatever you want to use to get that into your program. So I usually use Google. I search for an image and then I save it onto my computer, and then I go up to File and Open, and then open the file that I want to use. Today I thought we'd use a Lego block. I've worked with this Lego block before and I've actually already edited it. It was actually quite basic to edit out, but for today's exercise I'm actually going to make it a little bit more complicated to edit, so I can show you how to actually edit the image. So the two buttons we'll be using today are up here. We've got obviously our moving around, our select button, and then we've got a button here that says point editing. Okay, so that's found below underneath the select button. First thing we need to do is obviously we need to trace our image so we have an outline that we can work with in the program format. So I'm just going to slightly zoom in here, wrong way. I'm going to go over to my trace option over here, and I need to select the trace area. I then select my trace area, and you can see that a yellow line comes up and around. You need that as clear as possible. So in this case I would actually increase the high pass filter and the value so that I get a nice crisp outline and a perfect outline. And I know that in this case it wouldn't need any editing, but sometimes you do get images that are really hard to edit. So if we just move that back and make this a hard image to edit, such as that. Okay, so say we've worked with the image and this is the best we can actually get. So we need to trace the image. We then pull that image aside and you've got an outline. So we need to I just move my image across off the mat. I'm just going to drag this image down here a bit so you don't have to look at the writing at the top there. And then I'm actually just going to zoom in again so that you can see what I'm talking about. So we've got our image now. Now you can see in the image that we've got breaks because it hasn't actually traced properly. I want to fix those breaks so that the outlines actually match up all together. So what I do is I work my way around and I start in by zooming in on one particular break. This is where your point editing comes in. So we need to select point editing, and you can see lots of little dots coming up. Okay, so each one of those points can actually be edited. So I want to be able to break this point here, and this point here, so that I can join all those lines together and get one complete image. So I choose a point, I right click, and I need to break the path. So once I've broken the path, a little red dot will come in. I need to pull that little red dot away so that it breaks the path or breaks the image. So you can see now that we've got two dots here. Whoops. So I've got two red dots because I've broken the image, and the actual line's been broken as well. So I'll do that with the others now as well. So break path. And in this case, I think I might break this one here, break path. Now I need to decide where my lines actually need to go. So this line here that's curling around actually needs to meet up with this bottom line here. So I'm simply just going to try and grab it so that the 2 points come together and they actually form a dot or a black, obviously a black dot. That means that the lines are joined together again. I need to grab this line here and match it up, and then I need to grab this line here and this line here and match them up. Okay, so I've now matched them up. Now it's looking a bit messy, so we need to actually edit the points out so that it's not so messy. So you can see how that line kind of goes up. What I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to delete that point there and perhaps delete that point there so that I get a nice crisp line. And this line here, you can see is actually, it's like a corner and it's curvy. I perhaps might want to either add in another line so that I can make it a bit straighter, or I can actually edit that over here as well. So over here you can see we've got corner, smooth, make flat, make curve. So the first thing I want to do is make it a smooth line, and you'll actually see it automatically changes. And for me, obviously that's enough now because that's actually brought it back into line. So you can see how you can sort of change them. You've got the yellow dots here as well, so you can actually pull your points in and actually pull your points out as well. So I may want to pull that out a bit so I've got a little bit more of a gap between those two. And I'd actually just keep working with that image until I was happy with how it looked. The other thing you can do is to come over here and you can click simplify. And what simplify does is that it reduces the amount of editing points you have. However, if you simplify too much, you get too many straight lines in your picture, and you can see how they're changing now, and they actually make it harder to edit. So you don't really want to go too much either way when you're simplifying it, but simplifying actually does help a bit in terms of getting rid of those dots that don't actually really need to be there. So what I want to just quickly show you now, so yeah, after all you've done there, you can obviously complete your image. Now what I want to show you now is just how some of these functions in the point editing work. I'm going to make a triangle. A great feature about the new version 3 is that you can make triangles and pentagons and octagons, etc. So we need to edit, change the zipper. So you can change the zipper, you can go down to a triangle, or you can go all the way up into like a circle in terms of shapes. So we want a triangle for this exercise. Once we've done that, I need to actually make it so that I don't have that zipper anymore. So I need to create it into a path, so you can't actually edit the actual shape. It is a triangle now. So we need to convert that to a path, and obviously the zipper will disappear. I then need to, just for the purpose of this exercise, I need to copy and paste, and then I need to flip it horizontally, no, vertically, as such. Then what I need to actually do, because what I want to do now is make a diamond out of my triangles. Okay, so if you can imagine making a diamond, we need two relatively straight lines that actually join together. Okay, so that's probably pretty much close enough. Now what we need to do to create a diamond is we need to get rid of these two lines here. So we need to edit the points out. So again, going across to the bottom one, breaking the path, moving that away. And again on this one, break the path and move it away. You can then just grab that one. Whoops. Okay, we're just going to move that one away for a sec so I can show you. Now when I go to click on it, see how it is actually still all one image. Even though we've broken it, it's still saying that it's one image. So what we need to do is we need to release the compound path on it, and then we can just delete that line that we've moved away. So repeating that process. Break path. Whoops, didn't quite get on at that time. Break path, move my image away. Again, we need to go up to move. We need to release the compound path, and we need to delete that. Now quite often you'll get some images when you're editing, and you'll have all the little bits and pieces of your image all around on your page. You actually need to compound path those images back to be able to join the lines up here successfully. So what we need to do is we need to group these together as such and make it a compound path. So when I go into edit, we actually get our red dots. I'll just undo that for a second and I'll just show you what happens, release compound path. If I was to actually click on the dots now, okay, and there's no way that I can actually get that red dot to join up with that red dot. So that's why we actually need to have them both images, separate images as a compound path. So making them into a compound path again, we can now edit those. So clicking on them, I need to then drag, oops, what am I doing? I need to drag that image over to there, and I need to drag that line over to there so that they join up and create the dots. We've now got our diamond shape or our kite shape to work with. Okay, now I'll just quickly show you how we can actually get this shape here into an actual circle. So what we can do just by clicking on the actual image is you can add points. So if you wanted, say, a more curvy line, you can add some points into it. So in this case, I'm going to add one in there, one in there, one in there, one there, one there, and perhaps one there. Okay, now I can actually edit all of these as well. So we can change the thing here. We can make it into a corner if we wanted, or we can make it smooth. We can make it flat, or we want to make it curvy. So in this case, I want to actually make it a curvy shape. Now that means that I can actually change these shapes into what I want to make. So you can see there how we can actually change them. If this will actually work for me, there we go, make curve. Make that one into a curve, and I can actually, if I actually pull these out enough, we can actually change them into a circle. You may actually need to change some points and actually add some points in to make them into a circle. I should have actually, no, I'm going to actually delete that one. I'm actually going to delete that point there. Put in too many points. And that sometimes happens. Make curve. I'll actually delete that one there. So you can see how now that it's actually starting to form into a circle. So we want to make that line curved, maybe that point curved, that point curved, and make that one a curvy one too. So we can actually pull them out now and work with that image and to turn it into a circle. Obviously you'd have to spend, like, I wouldn't actually do that to make a circle. I'd actually just go over here to make the shape. But I'm just trying to show you how you can use your point editing tools. And it's a good way to have a play as well and knowing what all of the actual functions do. So for example, you can see here around in this area that there's a blue dot there and a blue dot there. That will actually change your curve. So you can actually go in and you can go out on your curve. Okay, so you can also work with that as well. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea on the point editing feature and how to edit your features in the Silhouette software, and obviously version 3. Version 2 works exactly the same way. If you know any other information, you can email me at inquiries@kerryscraftycardsandcuts.com.au, or you can follow me on my Facebook page as well. Just look up Kerry's Crafty Cards and Cuts, and obviously my website as well. That's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.